Senator Bamakino will lead the chamber in prayer.
Let's put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Direct, we beseech you, O Lord, all our actions by your holy inspiration, and carry them on by your gracious assistance, so that every prayer and work of ours may begin with thee, and by thee be happily ended. Amen.
Amen. Secretary will please call the roll.
Call of members. The Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Antiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camille, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Zubiri. The Senate President is present.
With 16 senators present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have a lot of visitors here today. Namely, I have visitors from Bukidnon State University. Presidents Dr. Joy Mirasol, together with Dr. Albert Villanca, and they're here with us. I just want to give special mention that they helped us bring down our poverty rates in Bukidnon due to our extensive expansion of the Bukidnon State University campuses. So we congratulate them for that, for helping our province bring down our poverty rates. Also with us are the members of the LGU of Bago City, mga taga-Negros, Mr. President. Tourism and City Mayor's Office headed by Mayor Marina Javellana Yao, together with the members of the City Council. They're here with us today. Mayor. We also have with us from Isabela, Negros Occidental, Mayor Miguel Angelo G. Yulo is with us as well. Mayor, brother of Jamie. Brother of my EA, Jamie. And we have with us also guests of Senator Villanueva, leaders from the body of Christ is here with us today, Mr. President. On this side. Guests of Senator Bato de la Rosa, we have with us today Mayor Karina Polinga and Vice Mayor Christopher San Gabriel of Municipality of Siruma, Camarines Sur. Manhay na hapon, ma'am. And together with Mayor Duan Ladaga and Vice Mayor Richard Tan of Loreto, Dinagat Islands. Also guests of Senator Rizo Ontiveros, we have Mayor Grace Arceo and Vice Mayor Jose Nadi Arceo of Hinigaran, Negros Occidental. Also my kababayans from Negros Occidental. Mayor Charlie Buhisan as well. These are guests of Senator Bamakino. Mayor Charlie Buhisan of Magsaysay, Misamis Oriental. Mayang hapon. Guest of Senator Go is Vice Mayor Marilyn Arbison of Luok Sulu, together with the other officials of Luok Sulu is here with us as well. And we have also senior high school students of Mater Ecclesiae School of Laguna. Ecclesiae School of Laguna. These are all our guests, Mr. President, with us today.
We would like to welcome all our guests to the Senate this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority
Mr. President,
Leader.
I move that we dispense with the reading of the Journal of the 23rd Session, Tuesday, September 23, 2025, and consider the same as approved. So
Any objections? Chair hears none. The motion is approved. The journal is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we proceed with the reference of business.
The Secretary will proceed with the reference of business.
Bills on first reading. Senate number 1356, an act renaming the Tarlac Agricultural University to Tarlac Science, Technology, and Agricultural University, reorganizing its governing board, enhancing its curricular offerings, amending RA 10800, an act converting the Tarlac College of Agriculture in Camiling, Tarlac into a state university to be known as the Tarlac Agricultural University and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Aquino.
Referred to the Committees on Higher Education and Finance.
Senate number 1357, an act establishing the University of the Philippines National Climate Resilience Institute, and for other purposes, Senator Aquino.
To the Committees on Higher Education, Environment, and Finance.
Senate Number 1358, an act reforming the national budget process by strengthening public financial management, promoting fiscal sustainability, strengthening Congress's power of the purse, increasing budget transparency, accountability, and citizen participation, and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo E.
Referred to the Committee on Finance.
Senate Number 1359, an act further amending Republic Act Number 3019, otherwise known as the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Senator Tulfo E.
To the Committees on Justice and Civil Service.
Senate Number 1360, an act mandating the formulation and institutionalization of a comprehensive infrastructure development master plan, establishing the Master Plan for Infrastructure and National Development Council and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Tulfo E.
To the Committees on Economic Affairs, Public Works, and Finance.
Senate Number 1361, an act implementing the people's right to information and the constitutional policies of full public disclosure and honesty in the public service and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo E.
To the Committees on Public Information, Civil Service, and Finance.
1362, an act regulating foreign travels of government officials and employees, providing penalties therefore and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo E.
To the Committees on Civil Service and Justice.
Senate Number 1363, an act strengthening the independence of the Commission on Elections by augmenting its manpower complement, providing separate and independent field offices, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, amending for the purpose BP 881, the Omnibus Election Code of the Philippines. Senator Tulfo E.
To the Committees on Electoral Reforms, Civil Service, and Finance.
Senate Number 1364, an act amending Republic Act Number 1405, the Bank Secrecy Act. Senator Tulfo E.
Referred to the Committee on Banks.
1365, an act amending PD 1759, otherwise known as penalizing contractors and subcontractors who violate any material provisions of contracts involving public works of the government and public officials who allow such violations and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo E.
To the Committees on Justice and Public Works.
Senate Number 1366, an act protecting vulnerable sectors against radicalization and terror grooming and prescribing penalties therefore. Senator De La Rosa.
To the Committees on Public Order and National Defense.
Senate Number 1367, an act regulating the practice of plumbing engineering in the Philippines, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committee on Civil Service.
1368, an act conferring the cadets of the Philippine National Police Academy the status of government employees and granting them with civil service eligibility and benefits and privileges, and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Civil Service and Public Order.
Senate Number 1369, an act declaring Barangay Kapatagan in the city of Digos, Davao del Sur, an ecotourism site and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Tourism, Environment, and Finance.
Senate Number 1370, an act establishing the Mariano Marcos State University Hospital, a Level 3 hospital at the Mariano Marcos State University, province of Ilocos Norte, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Health, Higher Education, and Finance.
Senate Number 1371, an act creating a barangay to be known as Barangay Liboton in the municipality of San Isidro, province of Davao del Norte. Senator Marcos.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Senate Number 1372, an act converting the provincial road stretching from Barangay Mabini Pintor Union, municipality of Gamu to Mangkuram, Lulutan, city of Ilagan in the province of Isabela into a national road, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Marcos.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Senate Number 1373, an act strengthening the contractor's license law, further amending for the purpose RA 4566 as amended and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo E.
To the Committees on Trade and Public Works.
Senate Number 1374, an act recognizing the contributions of indigenous peoples to nation building by granting them appropriate civil service eligibility after having served as indigenous peoples' mandatory representatives for at least 3 years and for other purposes. Senator Padilla.
To the Committees on Civil Service and Cultural Communities.
Senate Number 1375, an act expanding the coverage of the National Feeding Program in public schools and public daycare centers, amending for the purpose Sections 4A and 4B of RA 11037, the masustansyang pagkain para sa Batang Pilipino Act, and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Basic Education, Agriculture, and Finance.
Senate Number 1376, an act requiring the teaching of digital literacy as a part of the curriculum of grade schools and high schools, and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Basic Education, Science, and Finance.
Senate Number 1377, an act amending Republic Act Number 6552, the Realty Installment Buyer Protection Act. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committee on Urban Planning.
Senate Number 1378, an act strengthening the implementation of food waste reduction through food redistribution systems, promoting zero food waste, and providing incentives and mechanisms for donation of edible surplus food. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Social Justice, and Ways and Means.
Senate Number 1379, an act establishing a priority infrastructure plan for state universities and colleges, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Higher Education, Public Works, and Finance.
Senate Number 1380, an act penalizing the malicious and deliberate dissemination of false information that undermines public order or national security, strengthening regulations on fake news through digital platforms and for other purposes. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Justice and Public Information.
Resolutions. Proposed Senate Resolution 131, congratulating and commending Joanna Tauyi Tan for being named as the most valuable female player at the 2025 Asia Pacific Padel Cup in Selangor, Malaysia. Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules.
Proposed Senate Resolution 132, congratulating and commending Johnny Arcilla for being named as the most valuable male player at the 2025 Asia Pacific Padel Cup in Selangor, Malaysia. Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. President, before we take up the approval or adoption of resolutions, may we recognize a distinguished colleague, Senator Erwin Tulfo, as he wants to make a quick manifestation, Mr. President.
Senator Erwin Tulfo is recognized.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I just want to make a point of manifestation. Yesterday, reports emerged that the accreditation of spin.ph was deactivated by the Philippine National Volleyball Federation, effectively barring them from covering the FIVB volleyball tournament. Their alleged offense, Mr. President, reporting on the exorbitant ticket prices and the empty arenas during the games, and the very same issues that I and many others have raised to amplify the corners of our nation's passionate volleyball fans, particularly our youth. Ni-report lang nila, Mr. President, yung totoo, na mahal po ang ticket, na wala pong nanonood. Binan po sila ng Philippine National Volleyball Federation from covering that event. Adding to this grave situation, we've also learned that a journalist from Rappler, Mr. President, was reprimanded by the same organization for a social media update about the low attendance during the opening and high ticket prices of the league. Mr. President, this is censorship. This is curtailment of freedom of the press. As a journalist all my life, I condemn this act of blocking our noble reporters' freedom to write for the press. Dapat po managot ang mga taong nasa likod ng panghaharang sa mga kapatid natin na nasa media. Karapatan po ng bawat mamahayag na sumulat o mag-broadcast ng katotohanan dahil sa panahon ngayon, puro fake news na lamang, lalo na pag-asahan mo po ang social media. At wala namang sino pa ang pwedeng pumigil dito, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. That's all.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. We associate ourselves to the point raised by Senator Tulfo. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. And we laud the efforts of our chairman of the Games and Amusements Committee to combat this dreaded online gambling, Mr. President. So we thank him for his efforts. Mr. President, I move that we consider proposed Senate Resolution number 120, taking into consideration proposed Senate Resolutions number 122, 123, 124, 126, 129, and 130. These are all resolutions commending Padel Filipinas. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The consideration of proposed Senate Resolution number 120, taking into consideration Senate Resolutions 122, 123, 124, 126, 129, and 130 is now in order. The Secretary is directed to read the title of the resolution.
Resolution congratulating and commending the Philippine National Padel Team or Padel Filipinas for emerging as champion of the 2025 Asia Pacific Padel Cup held in Selangor, Malaysia from August 28 to 31, 2025.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, to sponsor the resolution is a distinguished colleague from Bulacan, no other than Senator Joel Villanueva.
Senator Joel Villanueva is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Majority Leader. Mr. President, mga kasamahan po natin dito sa Senado, bilang may akda ng Proposed Senate Resolution number 124, nais po nating ipabatid ang ating mainit na pagbati sa ating mga atletang kampyon na bumubuo ng Padel Pilipinas. Ang kanilang panalo sa 2025 Asia Pacific Padel Cup ay isa pong makasaysayang tagumpay na nagbigay ng karangalan at inspirasyon sa ating minamahal na bayan. From August 28 to 31, 2025, in Selangor, Malaysia, our Philippine national paddle team showcased their skill and dedication against some of the region's strongest teams, including Malaysia, Hong Kong, Thailand, South Korea, Pakistan, Singapore, and India. Hindi po biro ang kanilang pinagdaanan, ngunit pinatunayan po nila na kaya nating makipagsabayan at magtagumpay sa pandaigdigang entablado ng larangan ng padel. Congratulations po kina Argil Lance L.A. Cañizares, Abdul Kahar Kopo Alian, Johnny Arcilia, Brian Saarenas, Derek Santos, Raymark Mac Gulfo, Fritz Chris Verdad, Joanna Tau Yitan, Mariam Yam Garcin, Jed Aquino, Dana Abad, at Josea Malazarte. Ang inyo pong tagumpay ay bunga ng inyong sipag, tiyaga at pagmamahal sa sports. Special congratulations din po kina Johnny at Joanna na kinilala bilang male most valuable player at female most valuable player ng torneo. Kayo po ang tunay na inspirasyon sa ating mga kabataan. Hindi rin po natin makakalimutan ang mga coaches, officials at sponsors na naging bahagi ng tagumpay na ito. Salamat po ng marami at congratulations po kina Head Coach Brian Casao at sa buong coaching team at sa ating mga opisyal ng Padel Pilipinas na pinangungunahan ng kanilang founder, our very own si Ate Senator Pia Cayetano, isa po sa mga resident athlete ng ating Senado. Ginoong Pangulo, ang tagumpay po ng Padel Pilipinas ay hindi lamang tagumpay ng isang koponan, kung hindi tagumpay ng buong bansa. Ito po ay patunay na sa tamang suporta, programa at dedikasyon, kaya po nating maging isang puwersa sa larangan ng sports sa Asia at sa buong mundo. Ang pagkilala po sa kanilang tagumpay ay hindi lamang pagbibigay pugay sa kanilang nagawa, kundi isang hakbang po ito upang higit pang palakasin ang sports development ng ating bansa. Muli, congratulations po sa Padel Pilipinas. Mabuhay po kayo at mabuhay ang mga atletang Pilipino. Maraming salamat po and may God bless us all. Thank you, Mr. President.
The Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I believe you also have a constituency speech that you just want to insert into the records.
The presiding officer wishes to insert the sponsorship speech into the records.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I be recognized to also deliver a sponsorship?
Senator Mig Subiri is recognized.
Mr. President, I'm very proud to stand here today to sponsor a resolution congratulating and commending Padel Pilipinas for their victory at the 2025 Asia Pacific Padel Cup. As a sportsman myself, I find it so exciting to see our paddle athletes establishing themselves as a force to reckon with in the global arena. Padel is still very young, but we're already showing the world that Filipino athletes can dominate in this sport. And these past few years have been such an exciting renaissance for Filipino athletes, as we have shown the world our excellence not only in boxing, but also in gymnastics, tennis, weightlifting, pole vaulting, among others. And now we can add paddle to this growing list. To the players and coaches, and of course, Padel Pilipinas founder and NSA president, our unfailing sports advocate and resident athlete in the Senate, Senator Pia Cayetano, who happens to also be my walking mate when we are abroad. Congratulations to you, ma'am, and to all of the winners and to the whole team. As head of the Philippine National Arnis team, alam ko po kung gaano kahirap na makaabot sa global stage, lalo nang manalo dito. Kaya big deal ito, and we congratulate the whole team for this huge success. I know that with your continued and strengthened government support, we can empower Padel Pilipinas to excel on even bigger stages. Again, my warmest congratulations to the whole team. Mabuhay po kayo at mabuhay ang atletang Pilipino. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Yes, you may proceed.
Yes, next to sponsor is our distinguished athlete of the Senate, our ate, Senator Pia Cayetano.
Senator Pia Cayetano is recognized to sponsor the measure.
I'm ready to proceed, Mr. President.
You may proceed.
I will be delivering an omnibus sponsorship speech on 4 Senate resolutions today on the Asia Pacific Padel Cup MVP Awards, Senate Resolution number 131 for Joanna Tawitan as female MVP, Senate Resolution number 132 for Johnny Arcilla as the male MVP, and then I also have a Asia Pacific Padel Tour resolution. This transpired in April of 2025. We were in the middle of the campaign, so my resolution is only going to be sponsored now. Senate Resolution number 122, honoring Joanna Tan and L.A. Canizares for the championship title in the Mixed Pro of the APPT Open Kuala Lumpur. And Senate Resolution number 123, honoring Joanna Tan, Tan's championship title in the Pro Female APPT Open in Bali on May 2025. Mr. President, I rise with immense national pride in my heart. Today we are here to honor the historic achievement of our national paddle athletes. As the founder of Padel Pilipinas, this moment is deeply personal. I have seen our team grow from a hopeful beginning to a glorious triumph, and to witness their victory, to see our flag raise on the international stage, is to see the vision fulfilled. The Asia Pacific Padel Cup is one of the most prestigious tournaments in the region, serving as the premier Nations Cup where nations compete head-to-head to showcase the best of paddle across the Asia Pacific. It is special because the victory is not won by just 2 players, but through the collective effort of the entire team. In its inaugural year in 2024, held in Bali, Indonesia, our team came close, proudly finishing as first runner-up and proving that the Philippines was a rising force in the sport. This year, in Selangor, Malaysia, the Philippines completed a redemption story, defeating the strongest teams from 7 other countries, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Thailand, South Korea, Pakistan, Singapore, and India, and emerging as champion of the Asia Pacific Padel Cup 2025. The team's victory is not just about showing up and performing their best. It was the culmination of the work they put in through the past year, both on and off the court. I could not be prouder of this team for carrying our flag with pride and bringing this championship home. The Padel Pilipinas team completed an incredible run, finishing the tournament with a near-perfect record of 24 wins out of 26 matches. In the group stage, the Philippine team dominated, overpowering Pakistan 5-0, Hong Kong 4-1, and Malaysia 4-1. For the information of the body, the score means there are 5 teams. There's a women's team, there's 2 men's team, 1 women's team, and 2 mixed team. Tama? 2 mixed? So when you say 5-0, that means all of our teams won. 4-1, 4 out of 5 won. So that is how we won this, Mr. President. In the quarterfinals, we remained victorious against South Korea, 3-0. And in the semifinals, in a high-stakes rematch against host nation Malaysia, the team dominated with a 3-0 victory, winning pairs of Arcilia and Canizares, and Tan and Garcin, and Arcilia with Tan. The scores were: in the men's double, 6-4, 6-4. In the women's double, 6-0, 6-3. In the mixed double, 6-2, 6-3. And in the finals, we completed this historic run with a clean sweep in the finals versus Hong Kong, 3-0, with the same unstoppable pairing. In the men's double, Arcilia and Canizares won 6-0, 6-2. In the women's double, Tan and Garcin 6-2, 6-3. And in the mixed doubles, Arcilia and Tan 7-5 and 6-2. And for the MVPs, the Asia Pacific Padel Cup awarded the exceptional performance of 2 athletes, 1 female and 1 male. And these are Johnny Arcilia and Joanna Tan. Each delivered 2 key victories during the semifinals and finals, with their consistent and powerful performance ultimately securing the championship title for the team. So let me call on them once more. Joanna Tan, she's the top female player in the country and ranked number 2 in the entire Asia Pacific Padel Tour. She has defended this title for more than a year now. She was even ranked number 1 with another paddle champion, Marian Cappadocia, proudly from Antique, constituent of Senator Loren. And together they have won two female all-Filipino championships. Marian is on maternity leave right now, but I am certain they will come back and win even more championships together. Johnny, we have awarded him here in the past with Marian as a Tennis Hall of Famer. He has distinguished himself in tennis, but he does not hesitate to join us in paddle. And because of that, he also won the MVP in paddle. That is how talented Johnny Arcilia is. So, just to recognize everyone on the team, please stand as I call your name. Team Captain, L.A. Canizares, Coco Alian, Mac Golfo, Derek Santos, Brian Sarenas, Johnny Arcilia, Fritz Verdad, Joanna Tan, Mariam Garcin, Jed Aquino, Dana Abad, and Josea Malasarte. Josea, by the way, to my fellow UAAP, UP varsitarian, Josea is a UP tennis varsity player. She's only in her 4th year college, but her tennis coach over there allowed her to play paddle, and she was immediately able to cope up and join the national team. So to our athletes, with this honor comes the duty to uphold values of discipline, humility, and sportsmanship. You are now role models. Continue to be role models for the next generation. Continue to inspire every young athlete who dreams of following in your footsteps. Let me just quickly add the Senate resolution that I also filed for Joanna Tan. Please stand again, and L.A. Canizares. They won the mixed professional championship in the APPT Kuala Lumpur Open. I think this happened sometime, like I said, during the time that I was busy campaigning. So the resolution only comes now. And then Joanna Tan can continue to keep on standing. She won also a championship, but because her Filipino partner, Marian, was on maternity leave already by then, she partnered with another player from Spain and won the championship. So we are honored by Joanna Tan and L.A. Canizares' strong showing of strength, prowess, and sportsmanship, and winning these medals for pride and glory of the Filipino people. In closing, this victory highlights my long-standing advocacy of strengthening our national grassroots programs to cultivate new talent and mold them into elite athletes and one day world champions. Padel para sa lahat. That is our dream, and we are all watching our dream unfold today. Thank you, dear colleagues, for your support. Thank you for your kind resolutions honoring our players, our team, our coach, by the way, head coach Brian Casao is also there. Please stand, Brian. So we acknowledge all the hard work that all of them have put in. Thank you so much, dear colleagues. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Pia Cayetano. Mr. Majority Leader, you might as well include the PS Resolution 131 and 132 with, in the
We will,
next.
sir, after all the co-sponsorship speeches.
Okay.
We will
All
include that in the motion later.
All right.
So, Mr. President, the next to sponsor the measure is no other than Senator Lauren Legarda, Mr. President.
Senator Lauren Legarda is recognized.
Mr. President, I rise to co-sponsor
Iwalena.
Senate Resolution 120, which takes into consideration Senate Resolution 129, filed by this representation. I'm very proud to congratulate and commend the Philippine national paddle team for emerging as a champion of the 2025 Asia-Pacific Paddle Cup, held in Selangor, Malaysia. Paddle, once unfamiliar to many, including myself, is now a fast-rising sport that is being specially embraced by the Filipino youth. The presence of the Philippine team and the honor they received at the Asia-Pacific Paddle Cup 2025, the leading paddle competition in the Asia-Pacific region, underscores the country's readiness and competence to meet the highest standards of skill and sportsmanship. From August 28 to 31, the Philippine national paddle team, Padel Pilipinas, founded by our dear colleague Senator Pia Cayetano, emerged victorious against the finest teams from 7 other countries in the region. Competing in 26 matches, the Philippine team secured 24 victories, bringing home the championship trophy. This remarkable win testifies to the hard work and collective efforts of the promising members of Padel Pilipinas. It was also made possible with the expert guidance of its coaches Brian Casao, Jaric Laval, and Tomas Vasco. This success brings pride to our nation and an affirmation of Filipinos' excellence in sports, reflecting the discipline, teamwork, and bold dedication that have long driven Filipino athletes to achieve distinction, not only in our country but also on the world stage. So let this significant milestone inspire us to continue nurturing the dreams, strength, and capabilities of every Filipino youth. With this, I urge our colleagues to adopt this resolution. Also, I have another speech, but I would like to insert it into the records. This is commending a resolution congratulating and commending Joanna Tao Yitan and Johnny Arcilia for being named the most valuable female and male players, respectively, at the 2025 Asia-Pacific Paddle Cup. It is all of 4 pages. May I request that this congratulatory resolution also be placed on record. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you,
Mr.
Senator
President.
Lauren Legarda. Majority
Next.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, next to co-sponsor the measures, no other than Christopher Lawrence Bongo.
Senator Christopher Bongo is recognized.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, as chairperson of the Committee on Sports and one of the authors of the resolution, it is with great pride and honor that I rise today to co-sponsor the Senate resolution celebrating the remarkable triumph of Padel Pilipinas in the 2025 Asia Pacific Padel Cup held in Malaysia. Our Philippine national paddle team displayed unmatched skill, discipline, and determination after they bested their opponents in men's, women's, and mixed events, thereby emerging as champions in the international sports arena. This exceptional performance is not only a victory for the team but a resounding testament to the Filipino athletes' resilience and excellence. This achievement further cements the Philippines' growing presence in the international paddle scene as it proves once more that with passion, perseverance, and hard work, Filipinos can excel on the global stage. Mr. President, ang tagumpay po ng Padel Pilipinas ay hindi lamang tagumpay nila, kundi tagumpay po ng bawat Pilipino. Ito ay patunay na saan mang larangan, kayang makipagsabayan ng ating mga atleta at ipakita ang husay ng lahing Pilipino. Higit sa lahat, ang tagumpay na ito ay nagbibigay ng inspirasyon sa ating mga kabataan na kung sisipagan at pagbubutihin, ay maaari ring magdala ng karangalan at dangal sa ating bansa. Ito rin ay magandang halimbawa upang mailayo ang mga kabataan sa masasamang bisyo. Get into sports, stay away from drugs to keep us healthy and fit. Mr. President, gusto ko rin pong bigyan ng pagkilala ang founder po ng Padel Pilipinas, si Senator Pia Cayetano, na isa rin pong maituturing na lifelong sports advocate and enthusiast. Kasabay nito, karapat-dapat lang po na kilalanin ang pambihirang husay ni na Johnny Arcilla na kinilala bilang most valuable player sa men's division at si Joanna Tao Yi Tan na itinanghal ding MVP para sa women's division naman po. Makikita po natin pag nagtutulungan po ang pribadong sektor at ang gobyerno, malayo po ang mararating ng ating mga atleta. Higit pa rito, ang tagumpay na ito hindi magiging posible kung wala po ang buong coaching staff, trainers at lahat po ng atleta ng Padel Pilipinas. Congratulations po sa inyo. Nandito lamang po ako, inyong chairperson po ng Committee on Sports, laging sumusuporta sa ating mga atleta. Mr. President, more than just a sporting achievement, this victory brings pride and honor to our nation. It inspires the youth, uplifts the Filipino spirit, and underscores the vital role of sports as a unifying force that strengthens national identity and pride. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President. Mabuhay po ang ating mga atletang Pilipino. Salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Bongo. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next to sponsor the measure is no other than Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Mr. President.
Senator Ronald De La Rosa is recognized.
Mr. President,
Insert to the record.
my name is not inserted to the
Yes,
records.
Mr. President, I believe that he sent me a message, and my apologies, that his speech to be inserted to the records.
All right, the sponsorship speech is inserted into the records.
Mr. President, we'd like to recognize our distinguished colleague, Senator Erwin Tulfo, to also co-sponsor the measure.
Senator Erwin Tulfo is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is with great pride and honor that I rise today to co-sponsor the resolutions congratulating and commending the Philippine National Padel Team, or Padel Pilipinas, for their historic championship victory at the 2025 Asia Pacific Padel Cup held in Selangor, Malaysia, from August 28 to 31, 2025. This triumph shines a light on the growing sport of padel in our country and demonstrate the world-class talent and determination of our Filipino athletes. Their success is not only a win on the court, but also a symbol of national pride and unity. I also join in commending Joanna Tao Yi Tan, who was named the most valuable female player, and Johnny Arcilla, of course, who was recognized the most valuable male player of the tournament. Their individual excellence, alongside the collective strength of the team, affirms that Filipino athletes can stand tall and victorious on the international stage. Mr. President, colleagues, these victories reminds us that with discipline, passion, and unwavering support, our athletes can conquer greater heights and bring honor to our nation. Let us therefore wholeheartedly extend our commendation and congratulations to Padel Pilipinas for uplifting Philippine sports once again, inspiring our people. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Erwin Tulfo. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we'd like to also recognize a distinguished colleague, Senator Jinggoy Estrada.
Senator Jinggoy Estrada is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to join in the chorus of celebratory remarks for our national paddle team, Padel Pilipinas, founded by our dear colleague, resident sportswoman and star athlete, Senator Pia Cayetano. I say star athlete because she is, correct me if I'm wrong, is currently 4th in the National Women's Open rankings. As if the ongoing plenary sessions and marathon budget briefings weren't physically taxing enough, Senator Pia Cayetano, of course, found time to establish Padel Pilipinas, the sole federation officially recognized by the Philippine Olympic Committee and the Philippine Sports Commission as the National Sports Association for Padel in the Philippines. Nagawa pa po ni Senator Pia hindi lamang maglaro competitively at bumuo ng National Sports Association, pati na rin ang pag-iikot sa bansa para magbukas ng mga paddle courts para sa ating mga kabataan. Today, we are honoring the Philippine national paddle team for bringing pride to the entire nation for their historic championship victory at the 2025 Asia-Pacific Paddle Cup in Malaysia, beating the best teams from all over the region and concluding the tournament with an impressive 24-2 win-loss match record. Just last year, I understand the team secured a runner-up finish at the inaugural games in Indonesia. It is clear that our players certainly stepped up this year and came fully prepared to take home the well-deserved title. We are excited to see how far our national team can go and how many trophies it can deliver. Under the guidance and leadership of the stronger, more athletic Cayetano, with all due respect to our distinguished minority leader. Also, I would like to congratulate two of Padel Pilipinas' finest players, Joanna Tao Yi Tan and Johnny Arcilia, for being named as the most valuable female and male players, respectively, in the competition. Our commendation also goes to the entire roster, coaches, and staff who all work together, combine their diligent efforts to produce this winning team, not for their personal glory, but for our national pride and honor. Thank you for all your hard work, and please accept the Senate's simple gesture and token of appreciation for the great honor you have given our country. Finally, may I respectfully ask the authors and sponsors to allow this representation to become one of the co-authors of this happy resolution. Maraming salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have also other members who just like to insert for the record their sponsorship speech or speeches that we'd like to put on record. Senator Mark Villar would like to insert for the record as well, together with Senator Robin Hood Padilla and Senator Raffy Tulfo, Mr. President.
So inserted into the records.
Mr. President, with the consent of the body, Mr. President, and in view of the recent adopted resolutions pertaining Padel Filipinas, I move that we likewise consider and adopt the following measures, Mr. President. Can I just make an omnibus motion that we approve and consider proposed Senate Resolution number 120 and the other proposed Senate Resolutions 122, 123, 124, 126, 129, and 130, as well as proposed Senate Resolution number 131 and 132, Mr. President.
Well, if there are no objections.
Yes, with the permission of the body.
We include PS Resolution 131 and 132, honoring the male and female
Most valuable players.
most valuable players.
Yes, Mr. President.
Hearing no objection, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. And just to put on record, there being no interpellations
No
or
interpellation,
amendments
so
done. So,
would you like to approve the entire?
yes, Mr. President. With
Resolution?
that, we'd like to, with the permission of the body, we'd like to adopt all the aforementioned proposed Senate resolutions, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, proposed Senate Resolution 120, taking into consideration Senate Resolutions 122, 123, 124, 126, 129, 130, 131, and 132 are hereby adopted, subject to style.
Thank you, Mr. President. Congratulations to the recipients of this resolution. And we ask for a minute suspension so that we can give the resolutions to these athletes. Thank you, Mr. President.
The session is suspended for 1 Senate minute.
agenda for the day, we have some officials from the municipality of Moises Padilla, Negros Occidental, headed by Mayor Elia Garcia and Vice Mayor Pimpoy Yulo, are here with us today. Mayong hapon.
Welcome to the
May
Senate,
Si Manwa.
our guests. Thank you.
And also, we have, I see also Mayor L.A. Ruanto is here with us from Quezon Province. Bayan ng Infanta? Infanta ka, no? Infanta, Quezon, Mr. President.
Okay, welcome to the Senate.
Mr. President, our dear colleague, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, would like to avail of the privilege hour. May we recognize the good gentleman, Mr. President.
Senator Ronald De La Rosa is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, today I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege. Last March 11, 2025, former President Rodrigo Duterte was allegedly kidnapped by International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, with indispensable cooperation from our authorities. He was then handed over to the International Criminal Court. Counting from today, it has been more than 6 months since that fateful day. Halos 7 buwan na po mula noong araw na sa pilitang kinuha sa atin o kusang sinuko ng kasalukuyang administrasyon ang presidenteng mahal ng napakaraming Pilipino. Just this morning, I read a social media post on the official page of our Vice President Sara Duterte about alleged sham welfare checks conducted on former President Rodrigo Duterte. Let me quote her statement. I have received disturbing information from Malacanang that a report about former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte was submitted to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. by the Philippine Embassy in The Hague. The officials entered the detention unit under the false pretense of conducting a welfare check and interviewed former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Welfare, Mr. President, checked by the very same ones who caused the former Philippine President, quiet, possibly the most well-loved Philippine President, to suffer in foreign jurisdiction. Anong klaseng welfare kaya ang kanilang sinisiguro? At kaninong welfare? Bold of them to assume that they are in any position to look into his well-being, when in the very first place, securing his well-being should have meant utmost respect for his person, as well as refusal to surrender him to a foreign court. Not because he was the 16th President of the Republic, but perhaps more importantly, because he is a Filipino. How could those who, months ago, could hardly follow proper legal procedure be now expected to conduct a lawful welfare check? At sa tingin niyo ba, Mr. President, komportable si former President Duterte na kasama ang mga opisyal na ito? Sila na bahagi ng administrasyon na dumakip sa kanya. Hindi ba, in layman's terms, kung na-high blood ka sa isang tao, mas gusto mo na lang siyang iwasan? At kung makita mo siyang muli at magtatanong pa siya sa iyo ng kung ano-ano mga tanong tungkol sa iyong welfare, ay tiyak na maha-high blood ka lang ulit. Isn't it safe to assume that their presence merely reminded President Duterte of the grievous injustice he was made to face on that fateful day in March this year? Gugustuhin ba ng isang tao na tumanggap ng dalaw mula sa mga nilalang na maaaring maging sanhi ng pagkulo ng kanyang dugo? Welfare check ba ito o operasyon para mapaikli ang buhay ng dating Pangulo? Kaninong welfare ba ang gusto nila niyong mapabuti? Baka ang mainam ay bulahin niyo na lang ang inyong mga sarili. Huwag niyo nang sayangin ang buwis ng taong bayan sa inyong kasinungalingan. Huwag niyo nang idamay ang dating Pangulo sa pagpapalapad niyo ng papel. Sabi nga ng mga inspirational post sa social media, you cannot heal the same environment that hurt you. You cannot heal the company of those who merely stood and watched while you were harmed. Ang tingin ba ng administrasyon na ito ay hindi kayang alagaan ng kanyang pamilya si former President Duterte? More to the point, what was the interview for? Paano kaya nila pakikinabangan at gagamitin ang findings nila tungkol sa welfare niya? Para saan? Sa pilitan nyo na ngang ipinadampot sa mga dayuhan, pupuntahan nyo pa sa kulungan nang wala man lang abiso sa pamilya. Isn't that adding insult to injury? Can't you, just for a while, cut the old man some slack? Mamahinga naman kayo mula sa pagdaragdag ng sama ng loob kay Tatay Digong. With all due respect to our Philippine Embassy in The Hague, I, along with so many of our fellow Filipinos, ask for answers. Mr. President, ever since this year began, I can no longer count the number of issues that have plagued our country and demanded always our utmost attention. Often our deepest outrage, I believe, I need not enumerate them anymore. And just last week, Mr. President, we began our 100-day countdown to Christmas. Therefore, I would not take it against the ordinary Filipino if they happen to forget what happened on March 11, 2025. But I haven't forgotten. If PRRD to some, Tatay Digong to so many of us, and Mayor Rudy for me, is a man whose destiny clearly, unequivocally preceded him. Para sa isang mayor na nagdadrive ng taxi upang ikutin ang kanyang syudad at siguraduhing maayos at payapa ito, lalo na sa gabi. A man who faced the city's problems head-on rather than shy away from them or let his officials take the blows. With a man like that, the presidency was therefore practically a done deal. No one else, I repeat, no one else in our lifetime had or will ever have the presidency cut out for him. None except Rodrigo Duterte. Dapat lang talaga na naging presidente siya. Imagine the preposterousness he must endure. This man is now imprisoned in a foreign country, having been surrendered to a foreign court by his own government. Those who hold him in custody, who cannot even correctly pronounce his name, are the same ones who now exercise jurisdiction and authority over him. Now being welfare checked by the officials of this administration who help ensure his imprisonment under those of a foreign tongue. Again, I say preposterous, Mr. President. Sabi ng mga eksperto, ang average life expectancy ng isang Filipino male sa taong 2024 ay 71. 71.79 years old. Mr. President, sa kasalukuyan, si President Duterte raw ay may deteriorating cognitive condition na ayon sa kanyang legal team. Hindi na raw po fit to stand trial at butot balat na lang daw at hirap ng tumayo. Kung pagkaiisipin, kung nasa 72 years old ang life expectancy ng isang lalaki dito sa atin, ibig sabihin, si President Duterte ay nabigyan na ng Panginoon ng bonus. Almost 10 years. He is now 82 years old. Siyempre, pinagpapasalamat natin yan. And yet, if we accept the fact that he may not have long, I hope with all my heart that he leaves this world not in the presence of officials who visit him on the pretext of a pseudo welfare check, but instead in the company of the people he loves. And who truly care for him. Since none of us here can even hope to match his patriotism, let us at least strive to be half as nation-loving as he was, as he still most certainly is. Kung gusto po natin magpakita ng malasakit sa ating dating Pangulong Duterte. Kung talagang gusto po natin masiguro na lagi siyang nasa mabuting kalagayan, ang nakikita ko pong isa sa mga solusyon ay masuportahan ng bulwagang ito ang kanyang interim release. Or more conservatively, let us at least take up proposed Senate Resolution number 18 or resolution expressing the sense of the Senate strongly urging the Philippine government to advocate before the International Criminal Court for the interim release of former President Rodrigo Rua Duterte in a form of house arrest arrangement in a residence in The Hague, the Netherlands. Hindi naman siguro kalabisan ang hiling na yan. Sa tingin ko ay hindi naman sobra. Lalo na't magpapasko na. I therefore urge this august body for proposed Senate Resolution number 18 to finally be included in our agenda. I am asking this not just as a senator, but as a Filipino who believes that one of the best, most patriotic among us who ever lived does not deserve to spend his remaining years in a foreign prison that does not even speak his language, much less feel like home. In the end, perhaps, this is the least that we can do in the name of all that he has done for this nation. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Interpellation ba sa'yo? Si magmamanifest din si Senator Bong. I can recognize you after. Yes, there are colleagues, some of our colleagues want to interpolate our distinguished colleague, Senator Bato de la Rosa, but there are several other colleagues who also want to stand up to give a similar manifestation, Mr. President. May we recognize Senator Bongo, Mr. President.
Senator Bongo is recognized.
Mr. President, lubos po akong nababahala sa naiulat na deteriorating health condition ni Tatay Digong. Ayon po sa ulat ng kanyang abogado, Minsan po ay hindi na natatandaan ni Tatay Digong mga nangyayari sa kanyang paligid, lugar, petsa o maging kanyang pamilya. Totoo po yun, kahit na bago pa yung kanyang pagkahuli o surrender sa kanya ng gobyerno, ay meron na talagang mga bagay-bagay na hindi na po niya maalala. Mas naalala niya po yung mga old memories dahil na po yan sa kanyang edad. At naalala ko rin po nung bago siya dinala sa The Hague, nagpadala kami ng mga medisina sa kanya, hindi na po tinanggap doon at 2 beses po kami nagpadala sa kanya, sa kanyang mga kaibigan, ay hindi na rin po tinanggap. Ibig sabihin, sila na po ang gumagamot kay Tatay Digong at hindi na ho natin alam kung paano siya ginagamot doon. At ang kanyang mismo doktor dito ay hindi pa po nakakapunta doon. Yung doktor niya for 20 years dito sa Pilipinas ay hindi pa po nabibigyan ng pagkakataon na masuri siya o makita man lang. Ibig sabihin nito, ang talagang tumitingin sa kanya at nag-aasikaso ay hindi natin alam kung sino po. Mr. President, ako po'y lubos rin pong nababahala sa isinagawang welfare check ng mga personnel ng embahada sa the Netherlands kay dating Pangulong Duterte. This action, whether lacking transparency and coordination with the immediate family members or for whatever reason, may undermine the integrity of our diplomatic services. As former President, nung naging presidente po siya, he consistently championed the welfare and safety of our overseas Filipinos, such as the immediate repatriation of Filipinos in distress. Talagang tinututukan niya po ito. Pag meron siya nababalitaan, siya mismo nangunguna. At ito pong mga provision of legal aid sa mga OFWs, reintegration support, at pag may inaapi po mga OFWs, siya talaga mismo nangunguna at nagdidesisyon na i-ban po yung pagpapadala doon dahil ayaw niya pong nasasaktan ang ating mga kababayang Pilipino. Ang hirap pong mapalayo sa pamilya, hindi po nababayaran ang lungkot ng ating mga OFWs. Pero talagang pinaglalaban po ito ni Tatay Digong. Tatay Digong deserves the same respect and protection he once ensured for others. Kaya naman po, Mr. President, I appeal to our colleagues, matanda na po si Tatay Digong, 80 na po siya sa kanyang edad, mahina na siya at may mga sakit na rin po. Harmless na po si Tatay Digong sa kanyang sitwasyon ngayon. Mas magiging harmful po kung merong mangyayari sa kanya doon sa The Hague, Netherlands. Ako po'y sobrang nalulungkot at naawa sa sitwasyon ng taong dating naging ama po ng ating bansa na minsan ay nanilbihan sa lahat ng mga Pilipino ng buong puso at may katapatan. Ito bang ating isusukli sa taong nagmahal sa atin ng buong puso? Sa totoo lamang po, ayaw na niyang tumakbo noong 2016. Talagang pinilit po ng karamihan po ng ating mga kababayan at gusto na lang po niyang tumanda at mamuhay po sa Davao City. Sana naman po sa kanyang ginawa sa nakaraang 6 na taon ay suklian po natin ng pagmamahal. Ginawa niya po ang lahat para mas nakakalakad po ang ating mga anak sa gabi na hindi nasasaktan, hindi nababastos at dapat po ay Pilipino po ang humusga sa kanya, hindi po ang banyaga. Kaya patuloy po ang aking dasal para sa kanyang maayos na kalusugan at kaligtasan, lalo na po sa kasalukuyang kalagayan niya na dala po ng kanyang edad. Remember, he is 80 years old na po. Marami na po siyang karamdaman. Sa maalala ko, ako mismo nagpapadala ng kanyang gamot. At nung pagkatapos ng kanyang termino, patuloy po akong mismo sinasamahan ko siya. Kahit hindi po siya nakikialam sa politika. Kahit kailan po hindi siya nakikialam sa politika. Pero nung Pagkatapos ng kanyang termino, mismo buwan-buwan po sa kanyang check-up, sinasamahan ko siya. At ako mismo nagpapadala pa rin po ng medisina niya. 27 po yun, iba't ibang klaseng medisina ang kanyang iniinom. Ano kaya ang pinapainom sa kanya ron? Yun po ang aking isa sa aking kinababahala sa ngayon. For 24 years since 1998 up to 2022, halos 350 days po out of 365 days sa isang taon. Magkasama po kami. At higit pa po sa tatay ang turing ko sa kanya. Kaya nakikiusap po ako sa mga kababayan nating Pilipino. Pagdasal po natin ang kanyang kaligtasan. Pagdasal po natin ang kanyang kalusugan. At ipagdasal po natin ang kanyang kalayaan. At alam ko po mismo, mahal na mahal po ni Tatay Digong ang kanyang bayan at mga kapatid nating Pilipino. Nakikiusap po ako, having said that, Mr. President, we appeal to our colleagues na sana po'y mapag-usapan man lang ang resolution dito sa plenaryo na na-file po ng iba't ibang mga kasamahan natin, including Senator Robin and Senator Bato. Meron po kaming resolution na na-file po. Let us act now and make a stand on this. Nakikiusap po ako sa ating mga kababayan, nakikiusap po ako sa mga kasamahan natin sa Senado. Alang-alang na lang po sa taong nagserbisyo po sa atin, nagmahal po sa bawat Pilipino. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you, Majority Leader.
Yes, thank you. Next to also give his manifestation is Senator Robin Hood Padilla, Mr. President.
Senator Robin Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa atin pong pinunong mayorya. Bago ko po umpisahan ang aking manifestasyon, meron lang po akong isang maikling video.
Sinasabi po ninyong mga taong kinumpos ng welfare team na pinuntahan po yung dating Pangulo sa The Hague.
Sa ngayon, Mr. President, wala pa tayong hawak na pangalan individually, pero ang informasyon ay sila daw ay mga opisyalis from the Philippine Embassy ng The Hague, Netherlands.
Ginoong Pangulo, Your Honor, kung ang puso po ninyo ay sinugatan ng isang tao, o kaya ay nakagawa po sa inyo ng isang bagay na masasabi nating nagbigay sa inyo ng matinding kadalamhatian o kapaitan sa buhay, ang nais po ba ninyong kukumusta sa inyo, sa inyong kalagayan, sa pagkakasadlak ninyo sa kalagayan na yan, ay yung taong mismong gumawa nito sa inyong buhay?
Hindi po, Ginoong Pangulo, dahil alam natin na sila ang source ng iyong kahirapan. They are the reasons why you are there in The Hague. And mukhang hindi ko matanggap na ako ay bibisitahin ng mga tao na yon na sila ang naglagay sa akin sa ganitong sitwasyon. Ikakasusuklam ko po.
Ibig sabihin po, Ginoong Pangulo, pangkaraniwan na lang na kapag ko ay napunta sa ganong kalagayan, ang inaasahan mong bibisita sa iyo ay siguro ay yung mga kaibigan mo o kapalagayan mo ng loob. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Ginoong Pangulo.
So maaaring kapag pinuntahan ka ng taong alam mong siyang gumawa sa kinasadlakan mo sa buhay at siya pa ang bibisita sa iyo, hindi ka ba magsususpetsa sa pakay niya sa pagpunta sa iyo?
Magsususpetsa talaga ako, Ginoong Pangulo. Kung ano ba talaga ang motibo at ano ang pakay ng mga tao na ito, bakit ako binibisita?
Sapagkat hindi nga pangkaraniwan na sila ang bibisita sa iyo. Tama po?
Tama po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Alam po ninyo, Ginoong Pangulo, ang representasyong ito ay nagpunta rin sa The Hague noong Mayo 31 hanggang Hunyo 1. Ang layunin ko po ay dalawang bagay lang. Una po, para magpasalamat sa kanya sapagkat isang bukas na aklat naman na talagang inendorso po niya ang aking kandidatura kung bakit ako po ay kasama ninyo ngayon sa kapulungan ito. Pangalawa po ay upang malaman ko na rin kung ano ang kanyang kalagayan sapagkat sa huling pagkikita po namin sa Hong Kong ay Marso 9 pa po yun. At tama po yung sinasabi ni kasamang Senador Robin o ay kasamang Senator Bong. Nakita ko po doon habang kami po ay kumakain, sari-saring kulay po ng gamot ang ibinibigay po ng nurse. Napakarami po, hindi ko po kayang bilangin. Kaya ang una ko pong sigurong malaman kung ano na po yung kalagayan ng kanyang kalusugan, yung po kayang dami ng gamot na nakita ko na iba-ibang kulay, ay doon pa rin kaya at naiinom pa kaya.
So
Ako po ay nagpatulong talaga sa ating embahada sa Netherlands. Kasi madalian po yung aking pagpunta ron, Ginoong Pangulo. 2 araw lamang po yun. Mahaba po ang lakbayin, ngunit yun po lamang ang 2 araw na kailangan ko pong makarating. Kaya siniguro ko po sana na sa kadahilanang yon ay makita ko lang kahit ilang oras lang. Sa kasamang palad, Ginoong Pangulo, ay hindi man lamang po ako tinawagan ng embahada. Nagpatulong po ako sa ating embahada. Kaibigan ko po yung ambassador natin sa Korea, South Korea. Ang sabi ko po, Ginoong Pangulo, pwede bang tulungan mo ako na kahit ilang minuto lang, makausap ko lang, maligaya na ako ron. Maipaabot ko lang ang aking pagpapasalamat. Alam po ba ninyo, Ginoong Pangulo, na ako po ay hindi nagkapalad? Hindi po ba kayo magtataka ngayon, Ginoong Pangulo, Senator Bato, kung bakit yung ICC pinayagan na makarating o mabisita ang ating Pangulo sa hindi maipaliwanag na layunin na merong welfare check. Kasi po nung ako, Ginoong Pangulo, masasabi ko na rin na mahigpit daw po, yun ang tanging ibinilin lang sa akin ng embahada, bagamat hindi ko po nakausap ng personal. Ang tinatanggap lamang daw po ay miyembro ng pamilya at miyembro ng legal team. Pero nagbakasakali rin po ako, Ginoong Pangulo, sapagkat nasa lugar naman po siguro ang pakiusap ko at bilang paggalang na lang sana nila, hindi na po sa akin siguro bilang ako, kung hindi yung institusyon na aking kinakatawan, sapagkat ako po ay nanalo na nga pong senador nung panahon na yon. Yun po ay hindi man lang nila isinaalang-alang. Sa palagay po ba ninyo, Ginoong Pangulo, ay dapat po bang biguin ako ng embahada samantalang ganun din naman ang pakay ko? Gusto ko ring makita rin ang kalagayan ng ating Pangulo, dating Pangulo.
Sa kasalukuyan mong status, Ginoong Pangulo, bilang isang senador ng Republika ng Pilipinas, kung ako ang isa sa mga opisyalis doon sa embahada ng Pilipinas sa Dahig, ay gagawa ako ng lahat ng paraan para ikaw ay mabigyan ng pagkakataon na makabisita sa ating mahal na dating Pangulong Duterte.
Salamat po sa inyong sagot. Ginoong Pangulo, hindi naman po lingid sa ating kaalaman na sa mga nakakarang araw, mukhang kaya po na-postpone yung hearing sa The Hague ng dating Pangulo sa kadahilan ng may aligasyon po na parang ang ating dating Pangulo po ay nagsasuffer sa tinatawag nilang cognitive impairment o cognitive decline. Ibig po sabihin parang hindi niya na maalala yung mga ibang bagay na nangyayari, nagkakaroon na po ng disconnect. Kaya po daw na-reset o naipagpaliban ang kanyang trial. Sa palagay po ba nyo, Ginoong Pangulo, ang pagpunta ng team na yon para mag-welfare check ay para tingnan kung talagang totoo yung ginamit na legal excuse ng abogado ng dating Pangulo?
I can only speculate, Mr. President, but I don't really have the facts obtaining on the ground. Sa tingin ko lang talaga ay baka yan ang purpose bakit sila pumunta doon para i-confirm siguro kung talagang totoo ba na mayroong cognitive impairment ang ating dating Pangulo. Pero to tell you frankly, Mr. President, nung hindi pa siya hinuli at ibinyahe doon sa Dahig, naobserbahan ko na po. Kasi I was with the man way back 1986 when I graduated from PMA. When I was assigned in Davao, nakilala ko na po siya. At from then on, tuloy-tuloy na ang aming samahan. Nakita ko po itong the later part, itong mga araw o mga buwan bago siya ibinyahe sa Dahig, na meron na nga siyang problema sa nadulot sa kanyang edad, sa kanyang katandaan. Napapansin ko, if you can remember, nung siya ay ating nagiging resource person dito sa ating hearing, ang kanyang mga sagot minsan ay paulit-ulit na, pabalik-balik, at minsan yung mga lugar, mga dates, at mga insidente na nangyayari ay tila nakikalimutan na niya at mali-mali na yung binibigay niya ng mga sagot. Kaya nagdududa ako, nagsimula na noon pa yung kanyang kondisyon na ganon, cognitive impairment, Ginoong Pangulo.
Salamat po sa inyong tanong. Ginoong Pangulo, tama rin po ba na pagsuspetsahan ng representasyong ito na hindi naman talaga yung welfare ng dating Pangulo ang kanilang chinecheck? Ang aking pong suspetsa, Ginoong Pangulo, hindi po welfare check parang reality check ang ginawa nila. Sa mga tweet, talaga pong hindi tapat ang pagpunta kung pag-uusapan ay para masiguro lang ang kalagayang pangkalusugan ng ating dating Pangulo. Kung hindi matiyak nila na baka naman nagsisinungaling yung abogado niya at ginagawa lang dahilan yung sinasabing cognitive impairment. Tama po ba na pwede akong magsuspecha ng ganun, Ginoong Pangulo?
Tama po, Ginoong Pangulo. Kaya nga, nasabi ko kanina sa aking privilege speech na we require explanation from the Hague, Philippine Embassy at The Hague. An explanation kung ano ba talaga ang kanilang sadya pagpunta nila doon kay Pangulong Duterte.
Tama rin po ba na magsuspecha ang representasyong ito, Ginoong Pangulo, na merong double standard ang International Criminal Court sapagkat kung talaga pong mahigpit ang kanilang panuntunan na miyembro lang ng pamilya o kaya miyembro ng legal team ang pwedeng dumalaw sa kanya, bakit po yung welfare team na yun, kung totoo mang welfare ang kanilang hinahanap, ay pinayagan ng ICC? Sa makatwid po, ako po'y nagsususpecha na talagang hindi na parehas ang pagtingin ng International Criminal Court. Tama po ba ako yung magsususpecha ng gano'n, Ginoong Pangulo?
Tama po, Ginoong Pangulo, dahil ano ba ang diferensya between a senator of the Republic of the Philippines at saka yung mga opisyalis ng Embahada ng Pilipinas doon sa The Hague? Bakit sila pinagbigyan tapos ikaw hindi? I'm quite questioning the standards of the ICC as far as visitation rights is concerned, Mr. President.
At tama rin po sigurong isipin natin, Ginoong Pangulo, na ang pinakatapat na testimonya ng isang tao na naglalagak ng katapatan sa puso niya na gusto niyang makita talaga ang kalagayan ng Pangulo, ay lalong maisip niya na para siguro mailagak mo sa talagang tamang welfare o pagkalusugan ng dating Pangulo, pinakamabuti na yung ikaw na rin siguro magsakit, magsikap na makiusap para ang dating Pangulo siguro habang pending ang kanyang trial ay payagan siguro makauwi sa kanyang bansa. Yun ang pinakatapat na manifestasyon ng sino man kung ang talagang kalagayan ng Pangulo ang kanilang inaalaga.
Yes, Mr. President, that is the ultimate manifestation of your concern about the welfare of the former president. If you really want him to be in good condition, if you want him to be, if you are after for his welfare, then I think the best thing to do is to bring him home, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, the privileged speech of Senator Bato de la Rosa and succeeding manifestations and interpellations be referred to the Committee on Rules, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, also on Monday, as agreed earlier in the Senate lounge, we will be having an all-member caucus. We'd like to ask our colleagues to attend the all-member caucus at 12 noon in the Senator's lounge. And this is one of the topics we can discuss. To the good gentleman from Davao, we can discuss this on Monday with an all-member caucus. 12 noon. Mr. President, I have just a few housekeeping measures. Pursuant to Rule 10, Section 13 of the Rules of the Senate, I move to elect the following senators as members of the Standing Committee. If I may, Mr. President.
Go ahead,
permission
you
of the
may
body.
proceed.
For the Committee on Ways and Means, on the part of the majority, I move that for the election of the following members. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, Senator Aquino, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Camille Villar, and Senator Raffy Tulfo. On the part of the minority, it's Senator Bongo, Senator Jingo Estrada, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Escudero, and Senator Marcos. And I'd like to also put on record, under further instructions for the chairperson, we manifest that Senator Win Gatchalian is the vice chairperson of the committee. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, so elected.
Mr. President, I move that we elect also members of the Committee on Sports. On the part of the majority, I move that we elect Senator Pia Cayetano, Senator Mark Villar, Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Lauren Legarda, and Senator Gatchalian. So move. And instructions to the chairperson to manifest and designate Senator Villanueva as vice chairperson of the said committee.
Any objection? Hearing none, approved.
Mr. President, for the Committee on Youth, on the part of the majority, I move that we elect the following members: Senator Raffy Tulfo, Senator Mark Villar, Senator Bam Aquino, and Senator Lauren Legarda. And also that under instructions of the chairperson, that we designate Senator Marcos as vice chairperson of the committee. I so move.
Any objection? Hearing none, so approved.
Mr. President, for the Committee on Science and Technology on the part of the minority, I move that we elect the following members: Senator Marcoleta and Senator Jingo Estrada. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, elected.
On the part of for the Committee on Cooperatives, Mr. President, on the part of the minority, I move to elect the following members: Senator Marcoleta, Senator Amy Marcos, and Senator Bongo. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
For the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, Innovations, and Futures Thinking, on the part of the minority, I move to elect the following senators: Senator Marcoleta and Senator Robin Hood Padilla.
Any objection? Hearing none, approved.
Mr. President, for the Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation on the part of the majority, I move for the election of the following members: Senators Bam Aquino, Senator Win Gatchalian, Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Erwin Tulfo, Senator Mark Villar. And from the instructions of the chairperson, we manifest the designation of Senator Risa Ontiveros and Amy Marcos as vice chairpersons of the committee, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Any other? Oh, yes. Are you ready? Yeah, for the women. Yeah. We're just waiting the list for the joint Congressional Oversight Committee on universal health care. May I ask for just a 1-minute suspension, Mr. President?
Session suspended.
Mr. President, I believe under the law you designate the members, Mr. President, and the list is given to you. Should we just give the list? Maybe we can ask Senator Risa Ontiveros, the chairperson of the committee, to give the list to the Senate President.
No.
Yes, it's the Oversight Committee, Mr. President, of the Universal Health Care Law.
In, in line with the request of the chairperson of the Committee on Health, we are designating as members of the Congressional Oversight Committee on Universal Health Care the following members: Senators Ejercito, Cayetano Pia, Bongo, Sherwin Gatchalian.
Thank you, Mr. President. We appreciate that so they can
Thank you.
start their work
Of course, the chairperson is the
included.
automatically the chair of the said
Thank you.
oversight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, with that, I move that we adjourn session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 29, 2025, and reminding all our colleagues that we have an all-member caucus at 12 noon in the lounge on Monday. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any objection? There being none, the session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Monday, September 29, 2025.